Welcome to a journey of inner peace and strength. Life can be tough, especially when we experience emotional pain, whether it's from a breakup, constant drama, or the chaos that others throw our way. But what if there was a way to navigate all of this without losing our peace? In this video, we'll explore how Stoicism offers profound wisdom to help us heal from breakups, find inner peace amidst drama, and maintain unshakable calm despite life's challenges. From learning how to let go of past relationships and heal, to adopting a Stoic mindset that prioritizes peace over turmoil, and discovering the powerful secret to not taking things personally, this video will guide you through Stoic practices that empower you to transform your emotional resilience. Join me as we dive into Stoic philosophy and unlock the tools to live a life of strength, peace, and unwavering calm. Stoicism and breakups, letting go with dignity. Hello and welcome. Today we explore a deeply personal and universal experience, breakups, and how the ancient philosophy of Stoicism offers timeless wisdom for navigating this pain with strength and dignity. Whether you are currently going through a breakup, recovering from one, or simply interested in applying Stoic principles to emotional hardship, this reflection will guide you through understanding, acceptance, and renewal. The universal nature of breakups. Breakups touch everyone, regardless of age, culture, or background. They are moments when the foundation of trust, companionship, and shared dreams shifts beneath our feet. The pain can feel overwhelming, and it's easy to lose sight of ourselves in the storm of emotions. But the Stoics remind us that pain is not the direct product of events, but the product of how we interpret them. Marcus Aurelius writes in his Meditations, "If you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it, and this you have the power to revoke at any moment." This means that the heartbreak itself is a neutral event, but the story we tell ourselves about it determines our suffering. This insight is not about ignoring or suppressing feelings, it is about reclaiming our power over our inner world. The Stoic view on control, Epictetus's key lesson. One of the pillars of Stoicism is the distinction between what we can control and what we cannot. Epictetus, a former slave turned philosopher, was clear about this. Some things are up to us and some are not. Our opinions, aims, desires, and aversions are up to us. But our body, possessions, reputation, and public office are not. In the context of a breakup, the actions and feelings of the other person are outside your control. Their decision to leave or to change is not something you can command or influence directly. What is within your control is your reaction, your judgments, your efforts to heal, your attitude towards the experience. Recognizing this distinction is liberating. It redirects your energy from futile attempts to change the uncontrollable to cultivating your inner resilience. This principle was practiced rigorously by Stoics in all areas of life. They focused on cultivating virtue, wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance as the true good, since virtue alone lies entirely within our control. Impermanence, the nature of change and loss. Life is in constant flux, and Stoicism teaches us to embrace this reality. Seneca reminds us, "Begin at once to live and count each separate day as a separate life." Relationships, like all things, change and eventually end. To hold on to something destined to change is to invite suffering. We often grieve not only the loss of the person, but also the loss of a future we imagined with them. Marcus Aurelius reflects, "Do not act as if you were going to live 10,000 years. Death hangs over you. While you live, while it is in your power, be good." This helps us focus on the present moment and accept that endings are a natural part of life's cycle. Accepting impermanence allows us to appreciate relationships fully while they last, without clinging or denial. Cultivating inner dignity and self-respect. When a relationship ends, it is natural to question our own worth. But Stoicism reminds us that our worth is intrinsic and unshaken by external events. Marcus Aurelius writes, "Very little is needed to make a happy life. It is all within yourself, in your way of thinking. Our value is grounded in our character, not our circumstances." Even in heartbreak, we can choose to act virtuously, showing kindness to ourselves and others, maintaining honesty, and practicing self-control. Seneca advises, associate with people who are likely to improve you. Sometimes a breakup is a painful but necessary step towards being with people who uplift our growth. Through it all, we must treat ourselves with the same compassion and respect we'd offer a dear friend. Emotional management. Stoic rationality in practice. Emotions after a breakup can be intense and confusing. The Stoics do not advocate cold detachment, but wise engagement with emotions. Epictetus teaches, "It is not things themselves that disturb us, but our opinions about them." We can learn to observe our feelings without being overwhelmed. Rather than reacting impulsively to anger or sorrow, we pause, reflect, and remind ourselves that emotions are transient impressions, not permanent realities. Marcus Aurelius suggests journaling as a way to reflect on troubling emotions and gain clarity, something you can practice daily to understand your feelings deeply without becoming captive to them. The role of fate and acceptance. Stoicism's concept of amor fati, love of fate, invites us to embrace whatever happens, good or bad, as necessary and meaningful. Marcus Aurelius advises, accept the things to which fate binds you, and love the people with whom fate brings you together, but do so with all your heart. Breakups, difficult as they are part of the natural order. Fighting fate only prolongs suffering. Instead, loving fully and then letting go gracefully honors both the relationship and your own peace. Practical Stoic exercises for healing. Here are some Stoic practices you can adopt to help heal. Negative visualization, premeditatio malorum. Regularly imagine potential hardships, including loss. This prepares the mind, so when pain comes, it strikes with less surprise and less turmoil. Journaling. Write daily reflections on your thoughts and feelings. Challenge irrational beliefs and replace them with reasoned perspectives. Focus on virtue. Each day set intentions to practice kindness, courage, patience, and wisdom. Measure your progress not by others' actions, but by your own moral growth. Mindful detachment. Practice observing emotions without immediate reaction. Let sadness or anger come, acknowledge them, then gently redirect your focus. The Stoic ideal, moving forward with strength. Ultimately, Stoicism doesn't promise to remove pain but to transform it. By working with nature, reason, and virtue, you turn suffering into a stepping stone for growth. Seneca reminds us, difficulties strengthen the mind as labor does the body. Breakups are painful, but also opportunities to become stronger, wiser, and more self-aware. In embracing Stoicism during heartbreak, you reclaim your power, restore your peace, and uphold your dignity. You learn to love deeply, to let go wisely, and to move forward courageously. Thank you for joining me in this exploration. May these Stoic principles serve you well, helping you let go with dignity and live fully once again. The foundation. Control yourself, not others. Epictetus said it simply. Some things are up to us, and some are not. We can't control how others treat us. We can't control what they say behind our backs, We can't control if they love us back, forgive us, or stay. What we can control is how we respond. When someone disrespects you, your peace is not taken, it's surrendered. The Stoic doesn't aim to control people or demand loyalty. The Stoic aims to remain undisturbed, rooted in character and virtue. In every relationship, the only constant is you. Your patience, your words, your reactions, your choices, and that is enough. This realization shifts the weight of emotional responsibility. Instead of blaming others for our discomfort, we look inward. Practice this daily. When emotions rise, stop and ask, what can I control right now? Is it the situation, or just my reaction to it? And choose accordingly. Peace is a practice, not a product. Why expectations ruin relationships? Expectations are premeditated disappointments. We often expect people to act according to our unwritten rules, rules they never agreed to. We want loyalty, but forget that loyalty cannot be forced. We want respect, but don't give it freely. We want love, but attach it to conditions. The moment we assume someone should do something, we begin to suffer when they don't. The Stoics teach us to drop the illusion that others must act a certain way. Instead, they ask us to accept people as they are, not as we wish they would be. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." Apply that to relationships, and peace becomes possible. Because when you expect nothing, everything becomes a gift. This is not about lowering standards, but elevating your emotional independence. To internalize this, think of the last time you were disappointed. Ask yourself, did they really break a promise, or did they just fail to meet your unspoken expectation? This awareness alone can transform the way you relate to people. Over time, you'll see a change, not in others, but in yourself. Less resentment, more gratitude, less frustration, more clarity. Love without possession. Love to the Stoic is not about possession, it's about presence. True love, in the Stoic sense, is unconditional. It flows from who you are, not what you get in return. It's not about controlling or owning someone, but about respecting their freedom while honoring your own. Seneca once wrote, "He who is brave is free." Freedom is the essence of healthy connection. When we stop clinging and start accepting, our love becomes lighter, more sustainable. You can love someone without needing them to fulfill all your needs. You can care deeply and still walk away if the relationship turns toxic. That's not indifference, it's wisdom. Imagine love not as a chain, but as open hands. You hold, you cherish, but you never trap. You support without suffocating. You nurture without expecting a return on investment. When both people approach love with this mindset, the relationship becomes a sanctuary, not a battlefield. Conflicts decrease, understanding grows, and peace, the ultimate Stoic aim, becomes the foundation. Practice it. Catch yourself when you say, "they should." Replace it with, "I choose to love anyway." Not blindly, but bravely. Dealing with difficult people the Stoic way. Every relationship will test you. Some people trigger your worst instincts, anger, jealousy, pride. But Stoicism gives you a choice: react blindly or respond wisely. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "When you wake up in the morning, tell yourself, the people I deal with today will be meddling, ungrateful, arrogant, dishonest, jealous, and surly." He's not being cynical, he's being realistic. By expecting the worst in others, not to judge but to prepare, we keep our peace. Remember, the behavior of others says more about them than it does about you. You're not responsible for their character. You're only responsible for your own. So stay calm. Respond with reason. Walk away if you must. But never let someone else's chaos destroy your inner peace. This doesn't mean you tolerate abuse. It means you choose your energy. You decide when to engage and when to detach. And in that space, you preserve your dignity. The Stoics practice this by journaling their thoughts, reviewing their day, and constantly asking, "Was I the master of myself today?" Use this tool. Reflect each night. Improve a little each day. Boundaries are Stoic, not selfish. Boundaries are not walls. They're doors with locks. They don't shut people out. They protect what's sacred within. The Stoics were firm believers in self-respect. They didn't believe in tolerating abuse or pretending to be unaffected by injustice. But they also believed that our response to mistreatment should be guided by wisdom, not revenge. Epictetus said, "It is not things that upset us, but our judgment about things. If someone crosses a line, set a boundary. Not with anger, but with clarity. You don't have to shout. You don't have to prove anything. Just act in accordance with your values. Let your calm be louder than your chaos." A firm no is often more powerful than a loud argument. A calm departure is stronger than a dramatic exit. Think of boundaries as your daily Stoic armor. They protect your energy, your focus, your peace. Without them, you leak yourself into situations that drain you. Write your boundaries, speak them, hold them, and when someone disrespects them, let your silence or distance speak. How to build relationships that last. So, how do we build relationships that actually endure? It starts with values, not chemistry, not attraction, but shared values. Choose people who value peace, patience, truth, and growth. People who take responsibility for their own minds and emotions, just like you do. In every conversation, bring virtue. In every conflict, bring reason. In every act of love, bring freedom, not demand. Relationships that last aren't perfect. They're not always easy, but they're built on mutual respect and a commitment to grow, not control. This means growing together, reading together, listening without defensiveness, speaking without blame, fighting fairly, apologizing quickly, forgiving deeply. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be one. In relationships, be that good person. Be the peace in the storm. Be the anchor, not the wave. Spend less time fixing others and more time improving yourself, because the best way to influence someone is to be the example, not the critic." Practicing Stoicism in everyday relationships. True mastery of Stoicism in relationships isn't about big dramatic gestures. It's about the daily practice of presence and virtue. In small disagreements, pause. Ask, is this worth my peace? Is my ego leading or my values? Most of the time, what seems urgent in the moment is irrelevant in the grand scheme. Use your breath as your anchor. Use your reason as your compass. And most of all, keep coming back to love, not as attachment or desire, but as a calm appreciation of the people in your life as they are. When your partner forgets something, forgive. When a friend disappoints you, understand. When a colleague frustrates you, listen, not for their sake, but for yours. Because peace is the prize, and it is always within your control. Carry a daily mantra. I will not let the noise of others disturb the quiet within me. Let this guide you in texts, calls, meetings, dinners, arguments, and silences. Let Stoic love be your quiet power. Final reflection. Be the example. The world doesn't need more noise, more demands, or more control. It needs more examples. Be the one who listens instead of yelling. Be the one who leaves space instead of rushing in to fix. Be the one who can walk away without hate. Be the one who can love without fear. Let your relationships be sacred. Let them be a practice of philosophy, not perfection. Let them be a mirror that reflects not the flaws of others, but the growth within yourself. As Epictetus said, first say to yourself what you would be, and then do what you have to do. If you want peace in your relationships, be peaceful. If you want love, be loving. If you want respect, respect yourself and others. That's the Stoic way, and it leads not just to better relationships, but to a better life. Practice, reflect, adjust, repeat, and let each relationship be your training ground, not for controlling others, but for mastering yourself. Clear thinking. 6 Stoic lessons for a chaotic world. Cluttered thoughts are like a messy house. Somewhere inside, there's value, but it's buried under disorder. In a world overflowing with information, where attention is a scarce commodity, clear thinking isn't just useful, it's a superpower. Fortunately, the Stoics navigated the maze of emotions and distractions and left behind timeless guidance. Here are 6 powerful Stoic lessons to help you think clearly, especially if you've ever felt lost in your own mind or overwhelmed by the noise of life. Welcome to this journey. If you're new here, be prepared to question long-held beliefs and embrace personal growth. Let's not just live life, let's understand it, shape it, and rise through it. 1. Embrace stillness. The Stoics recognized the power of stillness. In a world flooded with constant notifications and endless scrolling, clarity begins with solitude. But stillness doesn't require meditation retreats or hours of silence. Just pause, breathe, be present. As Marcus Aurelius said, "Nowhere can man find a quieter or more untroubled retreat than in his own soul." Spending time alone with your thoughts, even briefly, can ground you amidst the chaos. It's not about escaping reality, but reconnecting with it more clearly. Regular stillness refines emotional intelligence, sharpens decision-making, and deepens self-awareness. Second question, your beliefs. We all carry assumptions that shape our actions and reactions, but clear thinking demands that we challenge these beliefs, even the ones we've held for years. Seneca put it wisely, "We are more often frightened than hurt, and we suffer more in imagination than in reality." Fear, past experiences, and unchecked ideas often cloud our judgment. By letting go of inherited assumptions, we open ourselves to new perspectives and the possibility of real insight. True clarity comes when we confront the world as it is, not as we wish it to be. 3. Focus on what you can control. The Stoics understood that much of life lies beyond our control. Instead of obsessing over external events, focus your energy on your own actions, responses, and mindset. Epictetus reminded us, we cannot choose our external circumstances, but we can always choose how we respond to them. In a world overflowing with issues and information, centering yourself on what you can influence builds clarity and resilience. This shift prevents overwhelm and restores a sense of direction and purpose. 4. Simplify your life. Simplicity fuels clarity. In today's fast-paced world, it's easy to become distracted and overcommitted, but a simplified life allows your mind to breathe and your priorities to surface. The Stoics taught, very little is needed to make a happy life. It is all within yourself, in your way of thinking. By removing clutter, physically and mentally, you create space for focus and intention. Simplifying your schedule, your space, and even your digital consumption clears the way for clearer, more purposeful thought. 5. Adopt a growth mindset. A Stoic strives for constant growth. Unlike a fixed mindset that believes traits are unchangeable, a growth mindset sees effort as the path to improvement. Seneca wrote, "As long as you live, keep learning how to live." Life offers countless opportunities to learn, adapt, and evolve. Mistakes become lessons. Challenges turn into stepping stones. With this mindset, you're more open to risk, resilience, and becoming your best self. 6. Practice deep. Listening to respond wisely, we must first listen deeply. This means being fully present, not just hearing words, but sensing emotions, intentions, and context. Marcus Aurelius once said, "Everything we hear is an opinion, not a fact. Everything we see is a perspective, not the truth." Active listening allows us to understand others beyond the surface. It builds trust, opens communication, and challenges our own assumptions. Listening is a path to wisdom and a gateway to clarity in both relationships and decision-making. Final reflection. In a world filled with distractions and chaos, the Stoic path offers timeless tools to quiet the mind and sharpen our thinking. These aren't just intellectual exercises, they're daily practices that shape a more grounded, thoughtful, and resilient life. If this message resonated with you, consider showing your support. Subscribe, tap the notification bell, and leave a like. If you prefer to remain silent but wish to express solidarity, simply comment, "I think clearly." Together, we're not just consuming wisdom, we're living it.